probably.
Yeah, the nano machines and the Haliburton's Achilles, beast of metal. I like the way you think.
Oh, so when I was watching it, the immediate person I thought of was Aaron Rodgers. Because like when they showed that replay, you saw like the pop, and I was like, I've seen that before. Oh no. I felt so bad, man. And if I'm not mistaken, and NBA folks, please correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he still have the most amount of threes last night, even though he left the game?
Most threes made with 3. So I don't know if the Pacers win that game if he stays in there, but what I do know is we were going to have a great finish to that game if Haliburton doesn't get hurt, because I think it's going to be close in the final minutes of that game.
Sure.
Indiana made it interesting for the rest of the first half too. Like
it was a close game.
I think, did they have a 2-point lead going into halftime?
I think it was a point lead or something.
Yeah. It was very close. It was like, oh, are they going to get the upset now without Haliburton? And then
that would have been crazy.
Midway through the third quarter, TJ McConnell, like Mitch. TJ McConnell.
I liked you.
Yeah, we had Haliburton, we had McConnell. It was like we were back in the Bush administration. He kept him in the game. It was, I think he did. He made 5 shots in, he drove in 4 times in a row and then hit like a jumper, kept him in it, but then turnovers and just the depth that the Thunder have took over, and they won. They won the finals with one of the biggest point differentials in NBA history. I think the biggest point differential in NBA history.
The differential within the finals, though, I think was like 9 points or something. Like it was a really good series. Like it was some good basketball.
Yeah, when you get to go to a game 7, it's it's the closest thing the NBA has to a Super Bowl.
And I think like that's being talked about a lot today. I saw that flying around on the feed of people who are like, it's too many games, right? Of just like, hey, you're playing like basketball for all this, and then the playoffs are so long, and just the amount of games that you're playing. Of course, they're talking about this because Haliburton got injured.
Yeah.
But it sucks. I feel, even though the Pacers beat the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm not supposed to like them. It sucks because just from a pure like sports viewing standpoint, we didn't get like the best matchup because their all-star player went down. So it sucks, man. I feel, and that's the thing too for Haliburton doing this at the end of the season. Like, who knows what that recovery is going to be like? Obviously, he's younger. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but it's not.
Pacers fans were at basically an all-time high heading into this game.
Yeah,
and then the way Haliburton was playing early got even a little bit higher, and now he suffers probably one of the worst injuries you can suffer if you're an NBA player in terms of like your recovery time and amount of time it takes you to get right. An Achilles tear. So he's going to miss time this upcoming season, maybe the entire season. It felt like the Pacers were in this window, this moment to seize their opportunity to get a title. And unlike the Thunder, who have, I think, like an incredibly stacked roster, I believe they were the youngest team in the NBA heading into this season. Like, they are primed to do this many times over. And I don't know if you have that confidence if you're a Pacers fan. So not only do you have this moment probably like ripped away from you, your entire next season, you're like, don't know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know what to expect.
So I just feel so bad for Haliburton, man. I mean, like TJ crying was like, damn, like he was emotional after the game. It was just sad, man. So
yeah, when it first happened, I was like, did he slip? I was like, what the fuck was that turnover?
Sure.
Because then it resulted, the Thunder scored, and I was like, damn, he was so hot. And then he slipped. And then they showed the replay. I was like, oh no, he's hurt.
You see it. I mean, like it literally just like reverberate. And I was like, Ever
since Rodgers' Achilles popped, I can diagnose that shit from a mile away.
Legitimately, it's literally because of Rodgers that I was like, oh, now I know what I'm looking for. Yeah. And I am not a medical professional. But when you see it go, like it's not
you could just be like this. Yeah, Achilles.
Yep.
It's like just like a half a second is all it takes. You're like, when you see the calf, it's like an earthquake happens in the back of your leg.
Yeah, no,
the reverberation, it sucks. And it was I don't know about like the playoffs being too long. Maybe they figure out a way to get more rest. The Nuggets had like a brutal stretch against the Thunder. They never got the proper rest, or they didn't get like a 2-day rest until like the very end, and they were battling injuries. Michael Porter Jr. was hurt, Aaron Gordon got hurt, and like when you don't get that time to heal from that shit, that's when these injuries happen. Because Haliburton was dealing with the calf strain, right? He strained his calf.
Yeah.
Then you had fucking idiots out there like Skip Bayless saying that Pacers are using this injury excuse to make up for the fact that they're going to lose the game or whatever. But Dre Greenlaw, when he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl, he was dealing with a leg injury. He was fighting through a leg injury. And then I saw, I think it was Gil on Gil's Arena. They were talking about it. Both Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum both said that they were dealing with previous leg injuries before they ruptured their Achilles. So that's one thing we rarely talk about, like when these catastrophic ones happen. When you strain a certain muscle, and we gave the Steelers, and we wanted to make fun of Russell Wilson last year.
Sure.
Oh, they don't want to start him. He has a calf strain. But this is why you don't play through some of those injuries, why you have to let your body heal. And if you've got another option, like the Steelers did at the time, Haliburton's going to play no matter what. It's game 7, right? Like, you've got to be really fucking hurt to not try and play through an injury when you're at his level. And unfortunately, this is, what happens sometimes when you don't get proper rest.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. But it's also like because they're having like 2-3 days rest, and they've just been doing this now for 8 months.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and while they get substitutions and all that great stuff, I will say from just a pure basketball watching perspective, like it was a really great finals. Like it was. It feels crappier because like to get to game 7, especially how the Pacers played, in game 6, it was like, okay, whatever happens, like let's see just like 2 good basketball teams going. And so, it's going to be a what if, unfortunately, but it had an insane run, the Pacers.
Yeah. This is what the NBA needed, though. You had like,
not according to those billionaires. They're like, oh, my markets, my ratings.
Yeah. Well, I think the ratings were actually decent, but like 2 small market teams get there. You're
Buffalo.
You're
Baltimore.
Building a more loyal fan base for Oklahoma. You've rejuvenated some love of basketball for NBA fans in Indiana, ripped out of their heart ultimately. But like, and then they played good basketball the whole time. Like that's exactly what you fucking want. The problem is you got people like Stephen A. Smith who want to talk about anything other than the 2 teams actually playing.
Yeah.
And there's something that's crazy. Like Kevin Durant was traded yesterday too.
Dude, he was at the Fanatics.
That shit happen, dude.
Did you see the video? He was at FanFest. Yeah. And he's just like, well, they got what those fans got what they wanted. They didn't want me there anymore. So
that Fanatics Fan Fest thing. Oh god. But like, could you imagine the NFL having a trade announced on Super Bowl Sunday of that magnitude? Like, no way.